Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm here at Apex 2019 and I'm joined by John from Greensource. John, really interested in what you do as a model in terms of all this automation. It must require quite a large engineering department, quite a large team. You must be quite focused on the automation with your staff rather than having people on the line processing.
That is true. As Jim mentioned earlier, we have many pieces of equipment that are in the plant, lots of automation. And we kind of have a unique setup with the engineering staff we have. There's a number of us that have quite a few years experience in PCBs, and we're kind of leading a lot of the younger folks. We have many younger engineers. Most of our engineers are in their 20s right now, so they're learning a lot. They're great with computers, very bright, and then some of us that have a lot more experience work with them. Like personally myself, I have 30 years experience building PCBs.
Okay.
So I think it's a great model for the future.
Yeah.
That 10 years from now, you're going to have quite a few very knowledgeable engineers in the plant.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. Yeah, I think that's really important. We talked to a couple of people about this thing they call the silver tsunami, which is
Correct.
us grey-haired older people kind of moving on, and they're potentially a bit of a knowledge gap, and certainly automation is one way to maybe mitigate that, but there still has to be a transfer of that knowledge.
Certainly, I mean, it's a very, very technical operation with everything being integrated together. Many of the equipment is custom made, so it takes a lot of time and a lot of focus, with the engineering staff to get through that.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of experience in the industry. Do you find this very automated model is the objective there to make you more competitive? Is it to make you more efficient and better quality? Is it to be more responsive? What is the real focus of that?
Well, part of it is to be as consistent as possible. Many of the board shops that are out there today have a lot of people that have a lot of tribal knowledge, so you depend heavily on specific people that run specific machines. When everything is all automated, you don't have that variation. So that would be, I guess, one angle on it.
Yeah, and that's certainly a critical part, isn't it? Because you don't want the perfect board on one shift and then an error occurring on another.
And then the other thing is cycle time. In our industry, cycle time is very, very critical. So you're not sitting and waiting and having a panel sit in a cart somewhere and wait for someone to come. It's just going to feed automatically into the next workstation.
Yeah. Yeah. So automation is one part of it. Another part is really the data and the connectivity and the traceability and all those kind of things. Is that something you're finding you're having to do for various different ITAR and different approvals?
Well, right now, basically every core that gets released to the floor gets a 2D barcode on it. So every panel will have a 2D barcode. So we'll be able to trace every single panel that goes through the plant, which is going to take a ton of data that we'll be able to mine from all that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you should be able to derive some intelligence and some performance enhancements from that, and that's the key. What about, you talk about these engineering staff and you having a young group of engineers? Is it a challenge to recruit those? Is it a challenge to find the students that have had the right education, or are you able to draw from a larger pool?
We're able to draw from, we're located in central New Hampshire, so we're not close to any large cities, but it's a beautiful area that we live in. There's ski resorts, there's fishing, hiking. So, those are the type of people that we seem to draw.
Yeah.
And, families, it's a great place where we live to raise a family. Okay. So we have, some couples at the plant.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice when you can kind of create that environment, and, your location can be part of the draw. But I guess also it's the ability to learn and influence and really make a difference in terms of technology.
Right. I mean, we heavily depend on our whole younger engineering staff we have. They're our future.
Yeah, and that's absolutely the way it should be, and we should be investing as much as we can in them. John, pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.